folks, you're rolling with Stephen Browning, Bassmaster Elite Series angler, been professional bass fishing for 18 years. Myself, David Walker, Luke Clausen, fixing to go attack Guntersville for Project Z.
3 pros, 3 days, 3 challenges. What happens when 3 of the world's best bass pros go head-to-head on Lake Guntersville, big bass mecca and site of the 2014 Bassmaster Classic, with no practice time and a limited tackle arsenal? Faced with numerous obstacles, 75 miles of river, 69,000 acres of fishable water, and only 15 hours to break it all down with Z-Man baits.
Palmetto.
This is Project Z. The anglers arrive at Chestnut Bay Resort and discover their first Project Z challenge.
Who goes there? Well, I might have to be in the middle.
I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Welcome to Project Z.
Day 1's challenge is this. Anglers will have 5 hours to catch the heaviest bag with no creel limit. They're restricted to the southwest end of Lake Guntersville from the dam to Mountain Lakes Resort, and can launch their boats from any public ramp within the designated fishing zone. Each pro will be limited to 6 packs of Z-Man baits chosen from 4 available lure categories: bladed jigs, creature baits, swim baits, and worms.
All right, so the first one over there gets to pick, right?
Wait a minute, you're number 1, I'm number 2,
I wanna
you're
pick
number
baits.
3.
David Walker selects diesel minnows, turbo craws, chunks, chatterbait elite, and finesse worms. Stephen Browning chooses flapping craws, turbo craws, diesel minnows, 2 chatterbait elites, and scented paddlers. Luke Clausen picks fatties, a chatterbait and chatterbait elite, turbo craws, flapping craws, and diesel minnows. Over breakfast, Luke, David, and Stephen establish a side bet for the first challenge.
We can do $1 first. Biggest and most.
You show up and give a man a chance to win $2, $3.
He liked that, didn't he? I bet he got some of that Waffle House coffee in his lap on that one.
Day 1 of Project Z, the challenge here. We're going to fish the lower end. It should be fun. I'm excited to get out there. It's the time of year that you're going to catch the biggest fish in the lake. When it gets cold, you don't get a lot of bites, but the opportunity to catch a great big one is really good. You know, between me, Walker, and Browning, we sit around and talk about it like it's no big deal to lose. I'm not worried about it, but I definitely don't want to finish last. I'll do everything I can to beat those 2.
Stephen is first on the water, launching out of Spring Creek.
I believe I'm fixing to show these other 2 boys how to catch something.
It's got to be good. Sun's shining, weather's cold. Hopefully the fishing's good. Hang on, I'm gonna open her up. Feel that thunder?
It's a cold day to start day 1, with air temps in the mid-30s and water temps in the low 40s.
We've got a little challenge. Today we're going to do a deal where everything counts. You know, the more you catch, really, the more your weights can get up there. So, you know, it's one of those deals where you don't really feel like you have to have that big giant kicker to do well. So, hopefully we'll be able to scratch some out. I'm not so sure that Luke didn't throw us a curveball. We were all going to put in at one boat ramp. They went someplace else and put in. Friendly competition, but they're still sneaky. We're dealing with a very limited amount of tackle. So, you know, the key is hopefully that you pick the right baits out of 4 categories of bait to catch a few fish on. You know, we can fish from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I don't think we're gonna see a whole lot of catches. I think if the guy in a 5-hour time, you know, is fishing some new water, that, you know, it's gonna be one of those deals where if you can just figure out how to get a few bites, and hopefully you can, you know, catch enough to get some decent weight. But we're gonna do this thing for 3 days, so every day is a new challenge.
Ugh. Let's try the A-bomb on him.
David starts his day throwing an umbrella rig around riprap on the Highway 69 bridge.
See on that depth finder, you see them fish? You're never really sure exactly what it is. You do know it's a fish, but it could be any number of things. But it's always nice to see lots of them on the finder. Except if you're not getting a bite, then you feel stupid. I need to fish out just a little bit deeper than where I was. There's a bass, fatty. Chunker. Look how round that fish is. Look at that. That's what you want to catch right there.
David's first on the board with a nice 4-pound largemouth. Luke decides to start his day fishing steep rock banks off the main river channel.
Going for white chatterbait, 1/2 ounce. I got a 14-pound line, try to get it down a little bit. You work this really slow, almost like a crankbait, just a little more subtle, a little different. Yeah, water temp's 46.9. A lot of people don't think a chatterbait's that great of a cold water bait, but it really can be. It can be a great bait this time of year. The first fish on the chatterbait. Not a giant, but we're on the board. Chatterbait, diesel minnow. It's only 44-degree water, 46-degree water. Still biting that chatterbait. We're gonna weigh him, see what we got. 7 pounds, 9 ounces. 2 pounds, 3 ounces. Not a giant. We'll get some of his buddies here in a minute. I'm trying different stuff here, trying to get more bites, you know, just every cast I do something a little different. I've cast out deep, let it sink all the way to the bottom, cast the bank, try to work it down these rocks, trying to figure out how to get a bite. Like any day of fishing, you always just keep experimenting. Things change throughout the day. Keep trying to figure out the best way to catch them. A lot of times 1 or 2 bites can tell you so much about how the rest of your day is going to go. Maybe a little better one. Chatterbait strikes again. Oh, it's a little better fish. Chatterbait with the diesel minnow right there. Lake Gunnersville. I'd say Browning Walker might want to watch out.
Got another one. Now we're talking. Sweet, there we go. Diesel minnow, new bait out. Working today. 3.7. What these are is the little minnows, all right? A little bit smaller profile. And so I use these for my dummies. And all I do is I used a shaky head jig head and I just cut the hook off of it. And the thing you can do with Elastec is you just stick this right through the middle of that bait. Just use the jig head as the guide. I mean, you can cut it a lot shorter than that even. Just slide it on up over that till you feel it click right over that collar. And now that sucker is locked in there and there's no way that's going to hang up. And it's here. This is the new diesel minnow. Now it's really the same profile as far as the shape of the bait, but the overall size, as you can see, it's really the next step up from that one. So this is the one I'm going to use for the one to actually catch the fish. Swims great. We got us a whole school of fish right there. Just that easy.
Luke and David are both off to a solid start, with just ounces separating them. After no luck with his first few stops, Stephen makes a move to fish bluff walls near the mouth of Brown Creek.
I've got a flapping crawls here I'm going to use as a trailer. See, I'm going to thread it on there. The key is to kind of pull on that elastic product and pull it over the barb, and that way it'll stay up there real good. But that bait will sit down there on the bottom, and what happens when it's on the bottom like that, those pincers will kind of hold that jig up. So it'll be kind of like in that posture, like a crawfish is kind of defending himself, you know, away from that bass. So hopefully that'll get us a bite or two today. Barely have him hooked. I mean, barely have him hooked. Get over here. Oh my gosh, get in my landing position. See if I can bring him right. See, that dude is barely caught. Thank you, Lord. How about that? Luke Clausen. 3-5. You know, that's the little flapping crawls on the back end of that football jig, and this is a perfect place for it on these bluff walls. So I'll get the day started anyway, so hopefully. Oh, big girl. She's cold. There ought to be a couple of fish right here in this next 75 to 100 yards. What I've tried to do today is tried to find those areas that had some rock. You know, wintertime and rock, they just kind of go hand in hand. You know, areas where they can move up and down, and they like to get on kind of rocky banks. They can come up and feed a little bit and just kind of ease back out. A lot of times they'll be out here suspended on this. I mean, I've been trying to keep my boat in 18 to 20 feet, just trying to crawl this jig out, so. Let that cold girl go.
After 2.5 hours of fishing, all 3 anglers have caught fish. Following his quick start, Walker's riprap bite comes to a screeching halt, and you can sense his frustration. Browning's hot bluff bank has cooled, forcing him to move into search mode.
Brain's thinking, man. It's thinking right now. I think there's a little channel swing back here in the back end of this creek. Go look at it.
Man, it's not real easy, that's for sure right now. Gonna grind one out here or there. Need to get a couple more. Pull some last minute heroics here. We had 2 little bites and missed both of them. I'm really starting to think we should get back out towards that river. Fish out there with those those fish have had a change due to that current. Hopefully we can scrounge up another 4 or 5 pounder. Cold, dirty water. Not real good. I think we're gonna go back out. We'll spend the rest of our day out in that main river. A lot of bait pushed up shallower out there. I think that's our best chance to get on something right now or catch a couple good ones. We'll sling the chatterbait for the last hour or so and see what we can wrestle in.
With only 1 hour remaining, which angler will make all the right moves? Will Luke find that big bite? Will Steven's day continue to unravel?
Man, everything's going south on me.
Or will David surprise them all? Which Z-Man baits and techniques will win the challenge? Find out in webisode 2 of Project Z.
We got King Kong.